Hello and welcome to another episode of Mark in the Morning.
BlenderSchools.net's Homeroom.
As you can see, our surroundings are a little bit different. We're actually doing this presentation virtually today. It seems like when we recorded this earlier, something happened to the tape. Mark tried to tell me that his dog ate it, but I know that Mark doesn't have a dog. Right, Mark?
Well, that was my secret. I was hoping you thought I had a dog, but then you remembered that I have horrible allergies to dogs, so... We don't know what happened. This episode's a little bit later than we thought it was going to be, but hey, we're here now, so woo!
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you do have lots of allergies. In fact, you even told me you're allergic to frogs, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm allergic to frogs, yeah. I can't rub frogs on my face. It's the worst thing. So they're all itchy.
So, Mark, what's this episode about today? What are we doing?
This episode is going to be about new features. I know Mark is often about new things, but this very specifically is about new things that are coming to our Blackboard server this summer. So
that's correct. We are upgrading from a Blackboard 9.1.7 to Blackboard 9.1.8, and of course, we all know that the even service packs always bring lots of new features and functionality. Right. How about it, Mark?
Exactly. So this one's bringing quite a few new features, and even starting out, it has a new look to it, a new kind of look and feel. You'll find that the icons look a little bit different. Let's take a quick look here. So I've got a course. You can see it's a little bit. I would describe it as contemporary, Mark. What do you think? It's a little bit more modern looking.
It's smoother. It's just the lines are cleaner.
Right.
I like it a lot better, personally. Again, you're going to find it a little bit more square oriented, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's not oriented for people who are squares. It's just a little bit square looking. So yeah, it's nice new kind of look to it. They've also made a couple of changes in vocabulary. You know, that happens a lot, doesn't it, with service packs? So one of the changes they've made here is that what before was called standards is now called goals. So
goals.
You got to keep that in mind, right?
God, that's going to confuse me, Mark.
Well, you're easy to confuse, Mark. So you know, but it's really not that hard. I mean, it's just standards become goals. So
I know, but
I don't know why you have such a problem with it. But anyway,
I take it that's a higher ed thing, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. It's kind of weird because most of the standards in Blackboard are K-12 standards, but hey, that's fine. Yeah, that's changed to goals, and they've added goal-based grading. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. But just keep that in mind. Standards is now goals. Pretty easy to remember, I think. I don't see a problem with it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so they've also added some new reports, too.
Yeah, the new reports, I think, are very, very good. In fact, I think this is just the start of a variety of new reports that they're going to start putting in. I can really see Blackboard adding a lot more analytics to their product, being able to do more and more. But these are just some of the new ones that you can do. Mark, what are they?
Well, the first couple of new ones are time-based reports. Okay, and we'll take a look at them individually here in a second. But essentially, they allow you to see minutes instead of clicks. And then the other one is they have some new standards-based reports, too. So that's good.
Goals, Mark, remember?
Oh, that's right. Oh, hoisted by my own petard.
And I'm the confused one?
Yeah, well, usually. Anyway. Yeah, so sorry, goals-based reports. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that were used to using Pulse is still there for right now, but we're seeing a merger of those two products as you're able to do time-based reports and so forth with that. It doesn't do everything Pulse does because it doesn't do across students. And there's not some of the administrative reports, but they're probably going to be coming, right, Mark?
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of things you've seen over the past few years with Blackboard, they start small and they add as they go along, which I kind of like that method. So
sure.
But let's look at some examples of some of the reports here. The first one we have, this is the standards-based grading report. So
goal.
It's a goal-based grading. So what you can actually see here is this is pretty new. If you have aligned some of your assessment content, especially tests, to goals, then you can now run a report that shows you how the students have performed on any one of those particular standards. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and this is excellent for teachers to go back if they're looking at PSSA results and those types of things and how the standards are aligning to their questions.
Exactly, yeah, it's great for that. So it's not just coverage anymore, it actually shows how the students perform as well.
You missed that one. I called it standards, Mark.
Oh, man, I should have picked you up on that one. No, that's okay.
So
Anyway, look at this next one here.
Why don't you show them some of the time reports, Mark?
Yeah,
what that's going to look like in the future.
This next one's pretty cool. This is the kind of overview of your class. It gives you an idea, really, in a sort of average setup. What's the kind of average use of my class on any given day? So we look at this one, you can see that most of my students are using my class on Thursday. I got 11.71 hours of work done on a Thursday. So this is something you couldn't see in Blackboard at all before, all new time-based reporting. And let's just take a look at the other time-based report, which is the student overview. This one gives you a couple of different things. It tells you when a specific student was using your course, what day, and how much time. And then on the second part of it, it actually shows you exactly which parts of your course they went to and how much time they spent on those. So this is something that you can't even get in Pulse. So
now these are some really cool reports. And the one thing too is Pulse is pretty much just numbers.
Right.
This shows you in a graphical format, a very visual format, which I really, really like. It really not only shows you the numbers, but it gives you a good representation of what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And that item by item thing is really nice too. So you can see how much time they spend in your tests and so on.
Now, Mark, like Pulse, it does sessions and timeouts. How does this exactly work with that?
It's the same kind of setup as with Pulse, where you have the 15-minute kind of assumption that if a student has not been actively clicking for 15 minutes, then that time isn't counted. The only difference from Pulse is that Pulse shows you those actual sessions, where Blackboard just kind of aggregates that all together and just says, okay, they spent 10 hours, but you can trust that within that 10 hours, the idle time, as they call it, wasn't actually counted. So
great. So you just can't go there, let it sit there for the rest of the day, and it's timing.
Exactly. You couldn't go into an item at 10 p.m. and just leave it for 3 hours and get 3 hours worth of time. So it works pretty
excellent.
well
like that feature a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that feature a lot. So what else is new, Mark?
Well, they have this new what they're calling a quick setup tool, and it's really a wizard. It's a way to go in and sort of in a guided format set up your course.
And it also allows you to set up your content area too, right, Mark?
Yeah, and that's really what's new about it, is that it used to be, there was an old course wizard back in the day, but all it really allowed you to do was set colors and that kind of thing. This one will actually create content areas for you, so you can have a content area with different activity names and just a quicker way to set up your course. But you aren't required to use this. You can do it, still the traditional way if you want.
Yeah, you can still do it the manual way, going up to the plus sign, adding content areas, or going into your course properties or style and change all the things that you need to change. Yep, exactly. This kind of just does it all in one step, so you can get it done. It's really for the blank courses, not the copies of the blendedschools.net courses. Wouldn't you say, Mark?
Yeah, and especially if you're a pretty, efficient Blackboard user, you probably may not even use this. It's more for kind of the beginners, people who are just getting started. So
yeah,
it's good
I
for
agree,
that.
Mark. I agree with you.
Well, I'm glad you agree.
Yeah. So what else do we have?
We have some other features. We'll actually go out and demo these. So let's talk about tests. There's some new features on tests. Now, one is that there's a new regrading feature now, which is pretty cool.
That's excellent.
Yeah, if you have made a mistake on a test, like a classic one is, as a teacher, let's say you select the wrong correct answer. You ever done that one? I do that one from time to time.
And I can just go ahead and go change those grades, and it's going to give me the option to either upgrade or not upgrade, or regrade the other ones. Excuse me, not upgrade, regrade. I'm thinking of the upgrade.
Well, you're going to be upgrading their points, so you could call it that. But yeah, if you pick the wrong correct answer, it used to be you were kind of done. You had to go in and manually grade a lot of things. Now you just pick the right correct answer, and Blackboard will be like, "Hey, you want to just regrade?" And you're like, "Yes, please," and it's all done.
So you can do it for just one student, or you can do it for everyone that took that test.
Exactly.
You have the option of both.
Yep. Now this next feature, Mark, this is gonna it's just gonna change your world. This next feature.
Everything that you ever have known about grading, this will change.
It's going to flip you upside down. And they've added a new feature that if a student gets a question wrong, you can give them negative points. What do you think of that?
So they can be more wrong, or even wronger than wrong, right?
Yeah, because there's nothing like looking a student in the eye and saying, not only are you wrong, but you're 10 points wrong. That's how wrong you are. So
yeah, you are so much wronger than the other kids.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to make the assumption that this is a higher ed requested feature. I don't know any K-12 teachers that are quite that evil. So,
well, I'll tell you this right now, Mark. If they had a point line in Vegas on higher ed, I'd take it.
Exactly. And you'd get negative points back.
So
So
I'd be more wrong than everybody else.
exactly. So if you're an evil teacher and you want to give kids negative points, then hey, you can go for it now. There may be some legit uses of this, maybe for weighting tests or something like that.
Sure.
But I don't know. You know, personally, I don't think I'm going to be using this one a whole lot.
I mean, you can give weighting for the 0 on up to. You don't need to go the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's true. But it feels so good, you know, to give them negative. So, but it's there. We're assuming it's for higher ed. But hey, whatever you want to do with it, it's up to you.
Yeah,
This next one, actually, let's go demo this next one. This new course-to-course navigation.
Yeah, the course-to-course
pretty
navigation is excellent. Not only can you just jump from one course to another, Mark, but you can also jump from one course to another in a certain area.
Yeah, exactly.
So for example, if I'm in a course right now in the Grade Center,
Yep.
you can go up to the top, you can click
Yep.
on the little down arrow,
Little home,
and boom, go right to another course, and it takes you right into the Grade Center.
Exactly.
This will allow teachers to jump back and forth from course to course, where before you literally had to go up to courses,
Yep.
click on the course that you wanted, go into the Grade Center. Then
Right.
after that, you had to go back up the courses, into the course, back into the Grade Center. So literally now with one click, you can move from Grade Center to Grade Center to Grade Center.
Yeah,
Excellent
it's really
new feature.
nice. Yeah, and the previously visited courses itself is new. So it even has a list at the top of the most recent courses you've been to. So if you've got 30 courses on your list, but you only use like 2 or 3 of them, they'll always be at the top of the list. So that's
you don't have to scroll.
a cool new feature. Yeah, exactly. And I have a lot of courses, as I'm sure you do too, Mark.
I'm just littered with them.
So course-to-course navigation. The other is the new themes as well. You'll find these in the top right-hand corner, kind of near the new edit mode button up there.
Yeah, one of my favorite is the Starry Night.
Let me change mine here to Starry Night, see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Starry Night.
This is my favorite because it actually looks like you're sitting outside underneath the stars doing your schoolwork.
Oh, I thought it was just because you were such a Vincent fan. You know, you just love to sit and contemplate Starry Night. I like Flame is my favorite one. So
yeah, it's a pretty hot theme, by the way.
yeah, well, it's like me. That's why I like it. You see, it reminds me of me because it's a hot theme. So
here we go again.
So yeah, there's new themes. As you can see, some of the button names have changed just slightly. No major changes there, but like they used to have add interactive tool, it's just tool now. And
yeah, probably one of the
things.
biggest changes that's going to confuse people, Mark, is you're not going to see the double down arrows.
I know.
You actually have to hover over a menu or an item, and there's not double down arrows. There's only a single arrow now.
I know.
That's probably, I think, the most confusing thing that teachers will run into across all the new features, I would think.
Yeah, so if you look here, what Mark is saying is if you look at my lesson 1, my mouse is pointing to it, I have a down arrow. But if you look without me moving my mouse over lesson 2, the down arrow isn't there. It's not till I point to lesson 2 that it shows up.
Yeah,
And
so
we're
it's a
also
little harder to tell.
Exactly, and I just used to like saying double down. But now I can't say that anymore. So
it gave me that gambling feeling that we were talking about earlier in Vegas and the negative point values.
Exactly. Well, there you go. That's all of our things revolve around gambling. So those are the new features. I guess the key here, Mark, right, is that this is just kind of a sneak peek. We're going to give them some.
Yeah, we're going to be going over these again in the fall, and some of these in much more greater detail. How about it, Mark? As far as how to do certain things, how to run these reports, and how to do the full regrading and so forth. So I want to thank everyone for watching another episode of Mark and Mark in the Morning.
BlendedSchools.net's Homeroom.
That's right. And I'm sorry about the new format, but we'll get that tape out of Mark's dog's belly at some point in time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. It's only a matter of time.
Have a great day, everyone.